just got to try it. You have to be able to have that mindset. You have to be able to turn it off as well.
Yeah.
This is Taylor Anderson, and you are listening to Line for Line Podcast.
And just like that, we're back in another very special episode of Line for Line Podcast. Before we introduce our guest, we'll tell you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave an interactive comment for me and my guest. Just like that, we'll let her introduce herself to the world.
I am Taylor Anderson. I'm 16 and a sophomore at Tremper High School, and I do club dive and season dive.
Yes, ma'am. So just tell the people just a little bit about you that they may not know, maybe what life was like growing up for you, how you got started into sports, things of that nature.
Well, my parents are divorced, and I started off with a lot of different sports. I never really stuck with one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did softball before I did dive, and a lot of people are amazed when I say that. They're like, oh, how do you do flips? And just kind of you got it or you don't.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What age were you when you started swimming?
I started swimming at 14.
At 14? And how did it transition into diving, which goes hand in hand, obviously, but how did it switch from swimming to diving?
So I've always been like, sorry.
No, you're good.
I've always been like kind of like diving off like swimming pools or the diving board at like Anderson Pool.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Anderson Pool? Do you own that too?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
So I just do like some random dives off there, and then I kind of wanted to get professional with it. So then I tried it at the YMCA, and then I really liked it, so I jumped into high school.
Wow. And what was going through your mind when you started year one of swimming and things like that?
I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know the foots. I didn't know you had to point your toes. I didn't know anything. I was nervous. But the girls that I was diving with, they were so supportive. They taught me almost everything as long as, well, my coach too.
Yes, ma'am. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a professional would you say you are when it comes to diving as well, too, with you starting at 14 years old?
I would probably say like a 6.5. Like I'm a fast learner. So if you tell me to do something, I'm going to fix it right away.
Yes, ma'am. What would be the piece of advice that you would give to people if they want to get into diving and swimming as well, too?
You just got to try it. You have to be able to have that mindset. You have to be able to turn it off as well.
Yeah, nice. What would you say the atmosphere is like during practices for you guys?
Oh, it's so nice. The girls, we talk about our day. We say, oh, what's going on? What are you going to wear to prom? And they tell us what dive to do, and we do it.
Yeah. What would you say is the most difficult dive that you have completed so far?
On 3 meter or 1 meter?
Ooh, I didn't know the difference between the two. So can you break down the differences and tell us which one as well?
Okay. So the 1 meter is actually the one up there. It's the lowest one to the water. And 3 meter is, I think, 9 feet up in the air.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. On 3 meter, I would say my hardest dive was probably a back dive. Because you have to jump up, touch your knees, and then open perfectly without smacking. And then my hardest one on 1 meter would probably be a back double when I first learned it, but it comes natural now.
What are some like exercises or things that you do to stay active and swim shape? Is it yoga or anything like that you do?
Personally, I do cardio. I'll take like runs, not very long, because it's mostly core. It is all core. You have to be able to stay straight hitting water. So, and then I just do like a set of abs at home.
Oh, wow. Can you tell us a little bit about any obstacles that you may have faced on this journey as being a competitive diver?
Yes, mental blocks. You'll get on the board, right? You're trying to clear your mind, but so much is going through it. You point your toes, open at the right time, tuck, whatever. And it's all going through at once while your coach is talking to you, and you're trying to be on the board without shaking, trying to catch your breath. But that's where that mindset comes in. You have to be able to turn it off, go blank, and let your body kind of take over because it knows what it's doing. You just have to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
You know.
Can you tell us a little bit about your ritual before you get ready to dive into the pool?
Personally, I do a little stretch. I go back, forward, and then bring myself up, back down, and then I just stare. I go totally blank, totally blank.
Yeah.
And I just think of like a white wall, like a white wall, and then my body just does it. And sometimes if I'm having a hard time with a dive and it's back or inwards, and I'm at the end of the board, sometimes I will literally black out.
Oh, no.
I will not remember the dive at all, but I could still do it, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. What would you say are the encouraging words that you give to your teammates if they're having difficulties landing their poses and landing their footing as well?
Just relax. If you do it like you're supposed to, it's better to listen to your coach than thinking, oh, I'm going to do it like a back handspring and hope it goes well. It is so much better to do what they tell you to do than what you think is better.
Yes, sounds good. And what's the advice that you would give to the athletes out there when it does come to determination and sticking with it?
It's better to stick with it and know that you like it rather than starting on a whole different sport and a whole different environment.
And is this a sport that you're going to pursue once you do get to college as well, too?
Yes.
And
try to.
Okay, and because obviously they do have competitive swimming as well too. Are there any other things that you do when it comes to swimming other than dive as well too?
Oh, I don't swim at all.
No? What? Why?
I don't have the shoulders for it or anything.
Wait, you have to have like a certain like build when it comes to shoulders?
The swimmers, their dry land is crazy.
Really?
It's crazy. They do. Sometimes they have a whole day just for dry land, and they go to the weight room.
Are you serious?
Divers, we do core and legs.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes we work on arms, but swimmers, they got it hard.
So is it safe to say divers are basically the shot putters of the pool?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, see, because I was thinking that too, because I don't know much about swimming and diving. I was like, it kind of seems like they're more of the shot putters for the track as opposed to that, yeah?
But I feel like we're kind of equal because the swimmers, they have training, they have to get faster, they have to do all this. But us, we just kind of, everyone thinks it's more of a walk on the board and jump off and twist. It is so much more than that.
Because you get graded for it and everything as well too, right?
Yeah.
Do you get graded for like your poses like before you jump as well too? How does that work as well?
Yes. Okay, so basically they'll call you onto the board. If you're doing a front and you walk forward, they don't really dock you for it. But if you do a back, so you're standing on the board, and we call it oscillations. When you go up and down, and then you finally go. I used to do 8 before I actually jumped, but my coach cut it to 3. Thank God. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you can get docked for that. You can get docked for bending too much. You can get docked for not pointing your toes. You can get docked for not putting your hands together. And if it just doesn't look pretty.
Really?
Yeah.
That is insane. So it's safe to say that you can swim. Obviously, you're in the water as well, too.
Yes.
But do you feel like you can do it competitively if you wanted to?
Actually, there was this one time we were at an invite, right? And, oh no, it was a regular meet. I'm sorry.
No worries.
It was, so we had this running joke where we are like better than the swimmers. We think we're equal.
Oh, wow.
But, so they're like, okay, do a relay, jump in. Because they needed one more team to race, I think. So all 4 of us swimmers, or divers, decided to swim in a relay. It was 4x100 there and back and then a go.
Okay.
So we don't really swim. So we did it, and we beat one of the actual swimming teams.
You're making that up. I'm going to turn this off. Are you being serious?
I'm so serious.
So it's something that you can do competitively if you put your mind.
Yes.
Is that something you may think of when you get to college? Or?
Oh, no. I was done with that race. I was 3rd, and I was like, I don't know how y'all do that. Props to you guys.
Oh, my God. That is so funny. Is there anyone out there that you would like to shout out that may have helped you along the way when it comes to your diving career?
Taya Brewster.
That's your coach, I think?
No. She is a teammate of ours. She's always there. She's so humble. She's really good. And she's just always helped me during practice. And if she's not there, it's a bad day.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. As we get ready to close out this amazing episode, there's 2 questions. If there was one thing that you can do to bring more spotlight to the sport, and that one thing that normal people can do to bring more spotlight to the sport, what do you think that could be or would be?
Honestly, trying to post dive more out there, like on Instagrams and stuff. But it's so hard to get photos of the right things and the wrong things, because to get people interested. But right now our team is a team of 3.
3 people?
3 people.
3 people.
Yeah.
Not 300, but just 3.
3.
3 people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And it's like, do you guys have like photographers, videographers out there while you're doing it?
Sometimes, yes.
I kind of feel like that would kind of be hard.
Comes in sometimes.
Yeah?
I think so.
How is it that they do that? Because obviously you have to be out there on a platform where it's wet, the water and everything like that. How is it that you stay out the way if you're like a videographer or photographer?
Well, we have like a deck.
Uh-huh.
So it's not just straight pool and straight diving boards, but they kind of stay on the sides. They go all the way on the opposite side. Sometimes when we're doing a back, when we're facing backwards on the board, they'll sit right in front of where we like stare at the wall, to get that blank mindset. And sometimes it's just so funny. They're sitting there at the end of the board like this, and you're like, you can't concentrate.
Yeah, that is too funny. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this episode before we close out, young lady?
Honestly, just try it. You would probably like it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
All right. With that being said, we just wrapped up an amazing episode of Line for Line. We appreciate you for having some time for us, ma'am.
Calling, know you listening, tune in every week. Line for line. Oh yeah, I'm going line for line.